When laws are debated in Congress that are too controversial to pass on their own, oftentimes sneaky politicians will attempt to place similar language into must-pass bills. One of those must-pass bills is the National Defense Authorization Act, also known as the NDAA. The annual NDAA creates new programs, strategy, and sometimes they like to throw in gun control. Today, we're going to talk about how we defeated gun control in this year's NDAA with the help of our grassroots GOA members. Hi, I'm Ben, and you're watching the Minuteman Moment. Before we get into the video, take a second to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to help us defeat YouTube's algorithm. This year, thanks to Gun Owners of America and the support of our grassroots members, we are happy to report that the proposed gun control amendments to the NDAA have been defeated. So you might ask, what gun control did those sneaky anti-gun politicians in Congress try to sneak into this year's bill? The answer is a permanent reauthorization of the Undetectable Firearms Act. Historically speaking, GOA is the only pro-gun lobbying organization to oppose the Undetectable Firearms Act since its passage into law in 1988. The act itself began as an attempt to ban handguns like the Glock 17 when they were first introduced into the market in the mid-80s. At this time, polymer-framed handguns were a very new idea, and a misunderstanding about the Glock's polymer frame prompted an idea that even though the Glock had a metal slide, its polymer frame would make it somehow undetectable to metal detectors and therefore be the weapon of choice for criminals. Geez, people sure were misinformed in the 80s. It's almost like Congress spent too much time watching Die Hard and get scared that a porcelain Glock 7 was a real thing.
That punk pulled a Glock 7 on me. You know what that is? It's a porcelain gun made in Germany. Doesn't show up on your airport x-ray machines here, and it costs more than you make in a month.
You'd be surprised what I make in a month.
When the act was finally passed through Congress, it was because of a compromise that made it so the act itself did not affect any handguns that were currently existing. Remember, back then, the Glock was a novelty. Nowadays, with the proliferation of polymer-framed handguns and the advent of 3D printing, the Undetectable Firearms Act stifles manufacturers from producing lighter, smaller, and higher performing handguns because they must meet the UFA's weight requirement. This issue is compounded for the consumer handgun market because of the massive demand for concealed carry firearms, especially in light of the recent landmark Bruin decision. In addition, security measures have come a long way since the 1980s. Metal detectors are quickly being replaced by AI detection technology and less invasive sensor-based body scanning. The Undetectable Firearms Act nowadays only serves as an arbitrary and capricious gun control statute masquerading as a public safety law. Now get this, a study from the Bureau of Justice Statistics found that zero, yes you heard me, 0 people have been prosecuted under the UFA between 2000 and 2006. Now how many people are arrested under a law shouldn't be the final decider on whether a law is good or not. But this completely destroys any argument that this law helps keep the public safe. The UFA has been reauthorized 4 times. The original act had a 10-year sunset clause. It was renewed in 1988 for 5 years, in 2003 for 10 more years, and finally in 2013 for another 10 years. And GOA has opposed it every single time. Over these past 40 years, much has changed. More and more gun owners are starting to embrace the no-compromise mindset. As such, renewals of bills like the Undetectable Firearms Act will be harder and harder to pass. Because of the work of grassroots GOA members, members of Congress are starting to oppose gun control like the UFA, removing it from must-pass bills like the NDAA. While gun owners should enjoy this victory, we must remain vigilant until the UFA is laid to rest permanently. The UFA expires on February 2nd. So as long as we can hold the line until then, the Second Amendment will win. Gun Owners of America is urging our members to continue to call their elected officials to let them know that they do not support the Undetectable Firearms Act. Now thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with all of GOA's latest fights for your rights.